tragedy what's happened. And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me. What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened.
On the surface, Erin Patterson was a quiet schoolteacher living in the small Victorian town of Leongata. But when 3 of her lunch guests died after a homemade beef Wellington, suspicion turned to something far darker. The case captured headlines across Australia and stunned the world with its mix of family drama, rare poisons, mysterious behavior, and unanswered questions. Was this an innocent culinary disaster, or the work of a calculated killer?
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry.
This is the story of Erin Patterson, the mushroom killer. On July 29, 2023, Erin Patterson invited 4 people to lunch at her home: Don and Gail Patterson, her former in-laws; Heather Wilkinson, a family friend; Ian Wilkinson, Heather's husband and a local Baptist pastor. All were well-respected figures in their community. Erin had prepared beef Wellington, a dish traditionally filled with beef and mushrooms, but these mushrooms would prove lethal. In the days following the lunch, all 4 guests became gravely ill. Within a week, Don, Gail, and Heather had died. Ian Wilkinson survived after spending nearly 2 months hospitalized in critical condition, including time in a medically induced coma and undergoing a liver transplant. Medical authorities determined the cause of death: Amanita phalloides, the infamous death cap mushroom, responsible for the majority of fatal mushroom poisonings worldwide. Even experienced foragers have mistaken death caps for edible varieties. These mushrooms contain amatoxins, which destroy liver and kidney cells. Symptoms often don't appear until 6 to 24 hours after ingestion, by which point irreversible organ damage has already occurred. There is no known antidote, and even a single mushroom can kill an adult. This wasn't just a tragic accident, it was a poisoning of the most insidious kind. Erin was the ex-wife of Simon Patterson, son of the deceased couple. Erin and Simon had separated in 2020 but still shared custody of their 2 children. The relationship between Erin and her former in-laws was reportedly strained. They had been married for several years, but the relationship deteriorated following the separation. Some reports suggest that the July lunch was intended as a reconciliation effort, a chance for Erin to rebuild bridges with her former in-laws. In media coverage, Erin was described as intelligent but private. She initially cooperated with police and expressed sorrow over the deaths. In a written statement released on August 7, 2023, she said she loved the victims and had no reason to harm them. But in the lead-up to the lunch, Erin sent texts referencing mysterious medical tests, and on the day of the meal, she told the group she had cancer and gathered them to pray with her. Police would later reveal there had been no such medical diagnosis. It was a lie. She also claimed she used a mix of button mushrooms from a supermarket and dried mushrooms from an Asian grocery store, unaware that any of them were toxic. She stated that she and her children had eaten part of the meal but had removed the mushrooms. She experienced some stomach discomfort and vomiting, but did not require hospitalization. Her children were reportedly unaffected. Several details began to raise eyebrows. Investigators discovered that a food dehydrator, which Erin reportedly used to prepare the mushrooms, had been discarded at a local landfill site shortly after the lunch. Erin admitted she threw it out because she was panicking. Initially, she told police she had disposed of it a long time ago, before changing her account in her later statement. Police also searched Erin's home twice and seized several items, including electronic devices, to aid in forensic analysis. Phone data later revealed Erin had visited a known mushroom foraging area the same week someone reported a death cap sighting nearby. She had accessed a citizen science website mapping poisonous fungi and spent 25 minutes in that area, just enough time to pick mushrooms. Authorities also uncovered that Erin had used multiple phones, swapped SIM cards, and factory reset one device, even after it was seized by police. Her main mobile phone was never recovered, raising further suspicion. Erin's behavior at the hospital also stood out. She presented to doctors 2 days after the meal claiming symptoms, but left against medical advice, despite being warned she'd been exposed to a lethal toxin. Doctors pleaded with her to bring in her children, whom she said ate leftovers, but she refused, saying she didn't want to pull them out of school. Erin's refusal to bring her children in, despite being told she had likely been exposed to a deadly toxin, deeply alarmed the medical staff at Leongatha Hospital. One of the doctors, Dr. Chris Webster, was so concerned by Erin's behavior that he personally called the police. What you're about to hear is the actual audio of that phone call.
Hello, what address do you need the police? This is Dr. Chris Webster calling from Leongatha Hospital, and I have a concern regarding a patient that presented here earlier but has left the building and is potentially exposed to a fatal toxin from mushroom poisoning, and I've tried several times to get hold of her on her mobile phone.
So what's her name?
So the last name is Patterson.
First name?
Erin.
Do you have a date of birth?
30th of September, 1974.
When did she present at hospital?
At 8:05.
Today?
Yeah.
Mushroom poisoning, you said?
Yeah, so there were 5 people that ate a meal on Saturday, and 2 of them are in intensive care at Dandenong Hospital. 2 have just been transferred from Leongatha Hospital to Dandenong Hospital, and Erin presented this morning with symptoms of poisoning.
And what happened when she presented? She just got up and left?
No, there was time for the nurse to begin observations, and I was managing the other critically unwell patient, so I had a brief chat to her about where the mushrooms were obtained, and after that, while I was attending the other patients, the nurse informed me that she had discharged herself against medical advice.
It became a critical moment in the early investigation, one that revealed just how worried medical professionals were and how strangely Erin was behaving. Another detail raised suspicions. The guests were reportedly served their meals on large gray plates, while Erin's plate was smaller and lighter in color. She denied this, but police believed it showed intent, that she deliberately served herself separately. Adding further intrigue was the revelation that Simon Patterson, Erin's ex-husband, had suffered a mysterious illness in 2022 that resulted in hospitalization. At the time, he described the experience in a Facebook post as being close to death, although he later deleted it. And he did not attend the July 2023 lunch, something we will explore later. In November 2023, Erin Patterson was charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. 3 of those attempted murder charges related specifically to Simon Patterson, for 3 incidents alleged to have occurred between November 2021 and September 2022, including in Korumbura, Haukwa, and Wilson's Promontory. However, those 3 charges were dropped before trial. The case ultimately proceeded with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder related to Ian Wilkinson, the sole survivor of the fatal July lunch. With public interest growing, theories swirled. 2 weeks before the fatal lunch, Erin and her children attended a local church service where Pastor Ian Wilkinson was preaching. Afterward, Erin invited Ian and Heather Wilkinson, along with her ex-in-laws Don and Gail Patterson, to lunch at her home to discuss what she claimed was a medical issue. Simon Patterson initially agreed to come, but the night before, he sent Erin a text saying,
"Sorry, I feel too uncomfortable about coming to the lunch with you, Mom, Dad, Heather, and Ian tomorrow, but I'm happy to talk about your health and the implications of that at another time, if you'd like to discuss on the phone."
Erin replied,
"That's really disappointing. I've spent many hours this week preparing lunch for tomorrow, which has been exhausting in light of the issues I'm facing, and spent a small fortune on beef fillet to make beef Wellingtons because I wanted it to be a special meal, as I may not be able to host a lunch like this again for some time."
Some believe these messages reveal more than just disappointment, that the lunch may have been orchestrated with Simon in mind, and his last-minute absence may have saved his life. Others proposed revenge or resentment as potential motives, pointing to long-standing family tensions and custody disputes. Another theory, though unproven, was that inheritance may have played a role. Don and Gail Patterson were known to have assets, and some speculated that Erin's children, and by extension Erin, might benefit financially from their passing. Police have not publicly confirmed any motive, but the combination of possible inheritance issues, past health incidents, and family strain continues to fuel speculation. Still, Erin maintained that she was unaware the mushrooms were dangerous. She insisted they were bought in good faith from stores, but authorities never identified any supplier selling contaminated mushrooms, and no store has been charged or linked to the poisonings. This fact seriously undermines the defense that this was just a tragic accident.
I'm not aware of an investigation where we've had 3 people die as a result of apparent food poisoning, whether that be by mushroom or something else. So yes, it is rather unique. 4 people turn up and 3 of them have passed away, with another one critical.
Police approached the investigation carefully. They waited until Ian Wilkinson, the lone survivor, had recovered enough to speak before laying charges. Multiple forensic tests were conducted on food remnants, kitchen items, and medical samples. Forensic toxicologists confirmed the presence of death cap toxins. On November 2, 2023, Erin Patterson was arrested. She was charged with 3 counts of murder for Don and Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson, and 1 count of attempted murder relating to Ian Wilkinson. She pleaded not guilty to all charges. Erin remained in custody and appeared in court several times. The case had been adjourned multiple times, and her legal team has raised the possibility of requiring psychological assessments. Legal experts say this type of case is incredibly rare and difficult to prosecute. Proving intentional food poisoning relies heavily on circumstantial evidence, suspicious behavior, prior health incidents, inconsistent statements, and lack of alternate explanations. Without a clear confession or documented plan, the prosecution must convince a jury that the pattern itself tells the story. During the trial, Erin took the unusual step of testifying. She admitted that she had lied to her guests about her health and even acknowledged being a serial liar in general, but denied that this meant she had committed murder. She claimed she may have accidentally mixed wild mushrooms with store-bought ones, but insisted there was no malicious intent.
I cannot think of another investigation that has generated this level of media and public interest.
The media and public have been fascinated and deeply divided by the case. On one side are those who see Erin as a sinister figure, a calculated killer hiding behind a facade of confusion and sorrow. They cite her inconsistent statements, the disposal of evidence, and her proximity to multiple illnesses as too coincidental to ignore. On the other are those who believe she is a scapegoat in a tragic situation, a woman caught up in a nightmare of her own making but not intentionally. Erin's legal team has stated that she has cooperated fully and maintains her innocence. Meanwhile, police told the media they believe they have sufficient evidence and that the full picture would emerge at trial. The bizarre nature of the alleged murder weapon, mushrooms, has only intensified interest. The case has been covered extensively in both Australian and international media, and legal experts continue to debate how prosecutors can successfully prove intent. Some commentators have also examined Erin's demeanor. In her only television interview, body language experts noted blocking behaviors, prolonged eye closure, and no visible tears despite apparent sobbing. One analyst stated she was wiping imaginary tears, a potential sign of deception.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you,
I just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Experts also noted that Erin often spoke only about how she felt rather than offering specific details. This lack of information, despite numerous opportunities, raised questions about her credibility. On the stand, Erin admitted to frequent lying in the past, especially during emotional disputes with her ex-husband, but claimed this was unrelated to the tragedy. These psychological signals have only deepened the mystery surrounding her character. The trial was held in Morwell, Victoria, just 45 minutes from Erin's home, and it turned the quiet regional town into a true crime hub. Motels were booked out for weeks. True crime writers, podcasters, and amateur sleuths lined up from 5 a.m. to grab seats in the courtroom. The public gallery was packed, and the trial was quickly dubbed a media circus as journalists, podcasters, and onlookers flooded the small town of Morwell. At the end of a 9-week trial, on July 7, 2025, Erin Patterson was found guilty on all counts, 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder.
Erin Patterson showed no emotion as all 4 charges were met with the word guilty.
Erin Patterson, who has been found guilty.
Erin Patterson is guilty of murder.
Following the guilty verdict, the media swarmed the Morwell courthouse. Erin remained largely emotionless as the jury foreperson delivered the decision. Outside, reporters captured reactions from grieving family members, locals, and observers who had followed the case closely. The police confirmed that both the Patterson and Wilkinson families had requested privacy and would not be making public comments. Many expressed relief, while others remained haunted by the unanswered question of why.
I think it's very important that we remember that we've had 3 people. 3 people have died, and we've had a person that nearly died, and that has led to these charges.
Patterson now awaits sentencing, facing the possibility of life imprisonment. Legal analysts have said that her conviction marks one of the most chilling and rare instances of mass murder via poisoning in Australian history. Despite the verdict, Patterson continues to maintain her innocence, and her legal team is reportedly considering an appeal. The sentencing phase is expected to determine whether she receives life imprisonment. The courtroom proceedings revealed details previously unknown to the public, including Erin's internet searches related to death cap mushrooms, cell phone location data placing her near foraging areas, testimony about inconsistencies and motive speculation. This case may go down as one of Australia's most chilling and legally complex murder trials. The verdict is in, but the questions this case leaves behind still linger. Why did Erin Patterson really host that lunch? Were the death cap mushrooms a tragic mistake or a calculated weapon? What pushed her to lie, deceive, and cover her tracks? Was Simon Patterson always the real target? And the question no one can answer: what was her true motive? Despite a guilty verdict, Erin Patterson never explained why she did it. And without that answer, we may never fully understand the truth behind one of Australia's most chilling murder cases. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Was it an honest, heartbreaking mistake, or a slow, calculated execution masked by tears? If you found this case as gripping as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you're ready for more, check out our other true crime documentaries featured on screen now, because sometimes the truth is even darker than fiction.